Warmly welcome to Exploring Miracles. I am exploring the text in the lessons in A Course in Miracles, and I'm doing my best to reflect on the text as I go. This is a review of lesson number 71 and lesson number 72. Lesson number 72, only God's plan for salvation will work. And 72 was, holding grievances is an attack on God's plan for salvation. I do not want to attack God's plan for salvation. But lack of awareness and presence in the now makes me do just that from time to time. So I will reflect on my own, not only on the text, but on my own role in this in my everyday life, because I think that's valuable, for me at least, to hear my own voice, so I get a bit more aware what I'm doing in this world. Anyway, these two ideas, that only God's plan for salvation will work, and any grievance or grievances is an attack on it. They obviously they're not separate. Like we are not separate from God, and these two lessons are not separate. So just a reminder that when we talk about, when the Course talks about salvation, it's always about non-duality, that we are not separate, we are one. And it never asks for sacrifice, or that we have sinned or shame or anything, or does require any sort of repentance, or that we be punished. The only point here is to assure us that we are not separate. And what happens when we know that we are not separate? What happens when we are reminded that we are never separate from God? We stop giving the power away. Giving the power away is a grievance. My energy actually goes to some outer circumstance, and there it is. It's not in me anymore. It goes there. Or even a memory in the past. My energy, my joy, my light got a bit darker, perhaps, because it was usually when we go there, it's never a happy memory. Then we should really bask in them. But this is about the shadow that comes and makes it tricky for us humans. So we give our power away when our attention from something that is not actually happening, but it's a memory, or something happened outside us, not inside. That is what we are teaching ourselves. We are unlearning and teaching ourselves through this beautiful text, that what do we actually do when this grievance that shadows the inner, or we put, in my words, we give away our power. Uh, that is the attack. The attack is not, I'm going to attack, I'm going to take a weapon and attack God's salvation. It's not that kind of attack, but this reaction of ours that is so dear to the humankind, that we think we protect ourselves, but we don't. We actually hinder. We put up a shield, and we do not let the true power and light flow. That's the attack. So it can be so subtle, and we don't even think we are attacking anything. We can even be service goers. We go to church, we listen to the minister, we read the Bible, we pray, but still we give our power away, and we don't know. We think that we do everything right, and that is really our attention, but we don't, because then we are in the circus of life, and we suddenly are in reaction. We lose a bit of presence in the moment, and there we put up the shield, and some flow is not, and flow is stopped. So that is the attack, just to get a semantic clear here. Lesson 72 reminds us that every grievance is an attack on God's plan, because it says that salvation lies outside the mind and depends on someone else changing. And that is also a very important point, that when we think that if that happened or if that person changed, my life would be easier. It can feel so right and it can seem so logical. And we are helped here to be a bit alert on what we actually are doing when we go into that too much. To go into it, it's normal. We are humans, but go into it too much and let it consume you. Red alert. Red alert. So this whole thing in the, in the Course in Miracles is always about letting us see, bringing clarity to what we are actually doing. Are we in our true power, or are we giving it away with our attention and reactions and so? And I want to point out, and I say this as I'm reading this in the beginning of 2026, and tricky times, no one can argue with that, or one can argue with that actually, but let's not. But we know that there are things calling our attention here and there, and it can be more than fragmented. And I think my mind very often, my mind goes there. I have to be attentive to that. I think a lot about what that does to us when we get fragmented in our perception. Then we have already given it all away, the power. So for me, at least, I meditate in the mornings. My whole day becomes different. I can't explain it, but it's magical. So I really encourage everyone to contemplate something. Here comes a cat. You have to lie still, because I'm closing the lesson now. And meditate a bit every day, because it calms the mind, and the fragmentation where we give our power away, it ceases, and that's very good. Thank you for listening. Thank you for stopping by, and see you soon.